Good morning, Chicago Cubs fans. We are back with another edition of Cubs Daily, presented by Fan Arch. My name is Steven Ryan. The Cubs inch one step closer to clinching that postseason berth. The magic number is down to one. The Diamondbacks and the Giants did play each other yesterday, so that is the only reason the Cubs could not clinch. Both teams have 75 losses. Regardless of who wins or loses, the Cubs cannot officially clinch until Wednesday. They'll face the Pirates here today at 11:35, and hopefully they'll be celebrating a postseason victory. We have also gone up 5 games on the Padres after their blowout loss to the Mets. So we are looking pretty firm here as the 4 seed for the NL playoff picture. We're going to preview a potential hypothetical series here with the Padres at the end of this episode. We talk about Michael Busch, the Cubs with the big win again today, 4-1. Just an all-around, dominant performance in the sense of, hey, maybe the score wasn't pretty, but the Pirates had no chance. The only way the Pirates scored was that RBI triple by O'Neal Cruz. The door was shut. Kid Kate was spectacular once again, going up against the future Cy Young Award winner, according to the FanDuel betting odds. He's minus like 40,000 now. He owned Paul Skeens, and the Cubs owned Paul Skeens in general as well. There's a couple of stats out there. In 3 starts versus the Cubs, Paul Skeens has given up 4 home runs. In 29 other starts against all the other teams, he's only given up 7. So Cubs obviously have that NL Central favor with them. They're going to see him more often than other teams, but good to see the Cubs finding success against an ace. And it's a good preparation, like I said yesterday, for the playoffs, as we will be facing pitchers of Paul Skeens' caliber. Actually, we might not even be facing pitchers of that level, which kind of makes it better to think if you think about it. So, again, great win. Again, this team is rolling another series in the bag, as we like to say. And yeah, we're going for the sweep tomorrow. We're going for a postseason clinch. And honestly, we're trying to keep hot on these Brewers, okay? We're still sitting 5 back, but again, pressure on them. That's what we want. That is what we want in this situation. So, that was kind of the game, essentially. Michael Busch, leadoff home run. His bat is rounding into form perfectly. We're going to get to him in a minute. PCA had a big-time RBI single the other way. That was a very, very good sign, in my opinion, that I saw. And then, sacrifice fly as well by PCA later on to make it 4-1. Just an all-around good victory. We found a way to manufacture runs. Yes, the first one was a home run, but I'm talking about sac flies, singles, etc., etc. Moving runners to second and third. Just good all-around baseball. A good, healthy 4-1 win. And it's healthy, in my opinion, because we're not healthy. We don't have maybe our 2 best hitters all season, our 2 best RBI producers all season on the team right now. So it really does look good when the pitching staff does such a great job like it did today. Cade Horton, man, did the thing. Theobar came in, shut down the door. Didn't allow the Pirates any hope, and it was really, really good to see. And again, talking about Michael Busch, man, he has been stepping up in a big way. He is 1 home run away from 30. So is Pete Crow Armstrong. And what a deal by Jed, man. What a deal. I know we sent a nice pitching prospect, but Ferris, in the end, he will not have the same impact that Michael Busch is having on this team right now and for the foreseeable future. The Cubs have a few years of control on him, so he's going to be manning that position for a long time. Maybe the Cubs can even get him on a nice extension, right? One of those cheaper extensions that those young players sign. That is the time to strike in on that kind of deal. Great season by Michael Busch. He's taking a step up, right? He did really well last year. Stepping up this year in a big way for this team, man. Absolutely incredible to see. And it's coming at the perfect time. I know the competition's not strong, but that doesn't mean you can't get confident and get right at this time. And that's exactly what the Cubs are doing, man. And it's exciting to see. Michael Busch had a home run yesterday. He's got a home run today. We know how streaky he can get with the long ball, so he might go yard again tomorrow. It's just that possible with him. So absolutely incredible to watch him step up. He had a struggling second half route post the All-Star break, but again, right, these guys' numbers were so up, and then they were so down. And again, you can't think of baseball in such a literal day-to-day sense because you will drive yourself mad. But maybe Michael Busch isn't as good as he was that first half, but I don't think he's as bad as he was that second half. He's somewhere more towards that top level, and He's starting to figure that out right now before October. Literally, we are less than 2 weeks away from today's video in some October baseball, okay? So, tomorrow we do have the series finale here in Pittsburgh, the final game of the Pirates. Thank goodness. I know you say thank goodness, but it's like, hey, the Pirates are annoying, okay? They are consistently in the way. They don't threaten me in any capacity, but they're consistently in the way. We're throwing our all-star Matthew Boyd. We're going to be facing a gentleman by the name of Oviedo. He's got a really, really good ERA, but maybe he's just got brief experience, brief innings. Maybe the Cubs can just ruin all of that in a nice, fun sweep of the Pirates, and then we're going to be off to Cincinnati for 4. Cincinnati's tough, but we'll preview that at a different day, So, again, great series win here. We're 1 away from clinching that playoff berth. We can just celebrate tomorrow. I'd rather celebrate tomorrow with a win. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate with the win. And then, hey, keep pressure on the Brewers, man. Keep pressure on the Milwaukee Brewers. And, even if we don't win the Central, I'm okay with that. I like how this team is playing going into the matchup. So, the matchup the Cubs will be facing if the season were to end today, and honestly, it's starting to kind of look like that, it's going to be the Padres, okay? We are going to be facing the San Diego Padres, who had maybe... This is actually kind of a great matchup, right? This is the battle of the trade deadline, right? You could argue the Cubs made the least amount of quote-unquote moves, like overwhelming pop moves, and you can argue that the Padres made the biggest splash moves, right? It's kind of the proof of the pudding right there, right? I mean, I'm excited to watch this matchup. I think the Cubs are going to win. I know the moves weren't sexy, but they're sufficient. They're sustainable. The core of this team is absolutely intact, ladies and gentlemen. You know who the guys are and who they need to be to have success. The Padres are only 2.5 out of the Dodgers, so they're going to be 3 after tonight because the Dodgers are going to win tonight. But I will be curious to say, hey, I think we can take the Padres. I think we match up with the Dodgers well as well. So I'm not afraid of either of those teams personally. They're both really good teams, obviously, but the San Diego made all those moves at the deadline. Splish splash. I was taking a bath. They got Mason Miller, right? They added Ryan O'Hearn. They added bench depth, the whole 9 yards. The Cubs, they added a few players as well, but lesser known players, but guys that can fill the roles that this team truly needs. It really just needed some nice pitching depth, right? A nice range of pitchers. Some that can go 5, some that can go 3, and some that can go 1. And I think Jed did enough to sustain that. I know you guys are going to be in the comments, Jed didn't do blah, blah, blah. Jed's cheap, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. This team is peaking at the right time. We sit at 87 wins. We're going to win 90 baseball games this year. It's a really, really good baseball team. And we should really, really enjoy it because I think another one of the commenters said it, like, this is kind of like our 2015. We need to see where we are and what we need to improve on. What can put us over the top in 2026? Kind of a 10-year apart kind of tradition thing going on? I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. But either way, we're going to be facing the Padres. I've been kind of looking at their pitchers. Their number one pitcher, statistically speaking, is Nick Pivetta. Their number one pitcher morally is Dylan Cease. So I would be curious to see who they throw in game 1 against the Cubs. Probably Nick Pivetta, but Cubs have had some okay success against Nick Pivetta during the regular season. But once again, it's the postseason, so none of that matters. None of that matters at all when you're talking about postseason baseball. So I think Nick Pivetta, he's gonna start one of those first 2 games, and then Dylan Cease is probably the other. But it's the bullpen you have to watch out for the Padres, right? They went out and got Mason Miller. They already had Suarez, I believe. Or Estrada. Looks like they already had Estrada on the team. Their bullpen's really, really good. Can the Cubs silence the bats? That's going to be the question. It's going to be a really, really good battle. Cubs, they're 5 games up on them, but in baseball, 5 games is really not a big discrepancy in terms of who's better than who. But in a best of 3, anything can happen. It can get crazy like that, right? Cubs have lost 2 or 3 to the Royals. Cubs have lost 2 or 3 to the Nationals. Just weird things can happen in baseball, and that's part of the fun in October. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's edition of Cubs Daily. Again, Hope you all are enjoying the content. We are going to see you guys tomorrow in the next one. So, yeah.